Her phone buzzed with a message that would change everything. A promising career opportunity in a field she had always dreamed of joining. Excitement fluttered through her chest, mingling with the smallest trace of unease. A whisper of doubt she ignored. The company sounded legitimate, impressive even, yet the address was unfamiliar. Tucked away in a quiet part of the city she rarely visited, she imagined herself walking through those doors, envisioning a new life, unaware that with every step toward the unknown, she was edging closer to a trap meticulously set. The city around her carried on obliviously, the hum of traffic and distant chatter a cruel contrast to the impending silence awaiting her inside a space that existed only on paper. The streets grew quieter as she neared the address, the bustle of the city fading into an uneasy silence. The office building loomed taller than she expected, its windows reflecting the cloudy sky like dark mirrors. Her footsteps echoed against the empty sidewalk, and a sudden chill prickled her skin. Something about the place felt off, too polished, too silent. She hesitated at the entrance, but curiosity and ambition propelled her forward. The door swung open smoothly, yet no receptionist, no colleagues, no welcoming chatter greeted her. Only the stark, sterile lobby stretched ahead, a subtle dread settling in her chest. Inside, the lobby was immaculate, unnervingly so, with polished floors and gleaming surfaces that seemed designed to impress, yet no sign of life stirred. Chairs were arranged neatly, brochures perfectly stacked, as if waiting for invisible visitors. She called out tentatively, her voice bouncing back from the walls, met only by silence. A creeping unease settled in, but she pressed on, convinced someone must be nearby. The office that had promised opportunity now whispered secrets she wasn't prepared to hear. Minutes stretched like hours as she explored the office floor, each room more sterile and lifeless than the last. Desks were pristine, phones untouched, computers asleep. Her heart pounded, and doubt gnawed at her excitement. The realization that this company might not exist sent a cold wave through her. But she clung to hope, searching for a receptionist, a manager, anyone who could explain the eerie stillness. Finally, she reached an elevator at the end of the hallway, doors closed, as if waiting for her. She hesitated, a nagging instinct warning her to leave. But ambition whispered louder. With a trembling hand, she pressed the button, and the doors slid open. A sterile, dimly lit shaft appeared, silent and foreboding. She stepped inside, unaware that each decision drew her deeper into the unknown, her path disappearing behind her. As the doors shut with a final, chilling hiss, the office floor stretched ahead in eerie silence, a labyrinth of empty cubicles and darkened rooms. Every step echoed, amplifying the tension in the otherwise quiet building. The realization that she might be alone sank in, each heartbeat thudding against her chest. A faint rustle drew her gaze to a shadowed corridor, but no one appeared. Uncertainty and fear mingled with determination. She had to find someone, anyone, to validate the strange promises that had brought her here. The city outside thrummed with life, oblivious to the unfolding mystery inside these sterile walls. Her footsteps led her to a conference room, the glass walls revealing rows of chairs, and a table set for meetings that never happened. The air smelled faintly of disinfectant, cold and sterile. She peered inside, seeing no one. Only a single chair pulled slightly askew, as if someone had left in a hurry. Panic clawed at her stomach, but she forced herself to breathe, scanning every corner for clues, anything that could explain the surreal emptiness. A sudden creak echoed from the stairwell, and she froze. Was it her imagination or the sound of footsteps? Her pulse quickened, and she tiptoed toward the noise, heart hammering. The office was supposed to be bustling, yet it was silent, every shadow magnified. The building seemed alive with absence, an invisible observer following her every move. She questioned her own judgment, the promise of a career opportunity now a looming threat. She descended the stairs slowly, each step magnifying the hollow echo. The hallway at the bottom led to an exit that appeared locked, the glass reflecting her anxious expression. The sense of being trapped pressed down on her, and the rational part of her mind screamed to leave. Yet a flicker of hope kept her moving forward, seeking answers, unaware that each corridor twisted her deeper into an elaborate deception that had been waiting for her arrival. Reaching the ground floor, she tried the exit door, but it would not budge. Panic surged, and she pounded on the glass, calling out, her voice swallowed by the emptiness. Behind the doors, the city continued unaware, life carrying on outside. Inside, the illusion of opportunity had collapsed, replaced by the chilling realization that she had walked into a trap designed to vanish her from sight. The building held its secrets tightly, leaving no trace of the young woman who had dared to enter. The news of her disappearance rippled quickly through her family, sending waves of panic and disbelief. They retraced every detail, every message, every call, trying to reconstruct her final steps. The sense of helplessness was suffocating. Each unanswered question gnawed at them. Detectives arrived, their measured presence a stark contrast to the raw emotion in the apartment. The investigation had begun, threading through uncertainty and fear, chasing shadows that seemed always just out of reach. Detectives interviewed neighbors, co-workers, and friends, piecing together her last known movements. Each account added fragments to the puzzle, yet nothing explained the empty office or her vanishing. Every new lead was a spark of hope and a pang of despair. The search intensified, the clock ticking relentlessly, as investigators delved into a labyrinth of digital footprints and elusive clues, realizing that the trail was colder than anyone had anticipated. Family members provided photos, emails, and messages, desperate for any insight into her state of mind before the disappearance. Each item was scrutinized, revealing subtle hints that something had been off. Investigators noted inconsistencies in the company's online presence, a lack of legitimate contact information, and fabricated addresses. The story slowly began to surface, a shadow of manipulation and deceit. Yet the person responsible remained hidden behind layers of anonymity. As days stretched into weeks, the investigation expanded beyond the city. Banks, utility companies, and digital footprints were scrutinized. The enigmatic employer left no direct trace, and every avenue led to dead ends. Anxiety mounted for the family, who hovered at the periphery of each discovery, waiting for news that never fully arrived. The deeper investigators dug, the more the facade of the company unraveled, revealing a chilling pattern of deceit that had been carefully crafted over months, if not years. A breakthrough came when digital forensics uncovered a pattern of fake addresses and manipulated emails, confirming suspicions that the company had never existed. Each revelation painted a clearer picture of a shadowy predator targeting unsuspecting job seekers. Relief mingled with horror as the family processed the truth. Their loved one had been lured into a meticulously orchestrated trap. The hunt for the elusive employer intensified, setting the stage for confrontation and the pursuit of justice. The investigation had led to a shocking revelation. The company she had been lured into was entirely fabricated, each detail meticulously constructed to appear legitimate, from fake websites to falsified employee profiles. The family struggled to comprehend the scale of deceit. The thought of a calculated predator orchestrating every detail, chilling them to the core. Investigators pieced together the ruse, tracing digital breadcrumbs that hinted at the shadowy figure's presence without revealing his face, an invisible hand guiding events from behind the curtain. Every lead brought more questions than answers. Fake addresses, unregistered phone numbers, and hollow emails painted a disturbing picture. It was clear that the employer had carefully cultivated a facade of legitimacy, targeting those most eager to seize an opportunity. The meticulous planning suggested a pattern. Others may have been trapped similarly. The urgency to uncover the truth intensified, each new piece of evidence revealing the depth of manipulation that had entangled her. Investigators began tracing the digital footprints left behind, navigating through anonymized accounts and proxies. The trail twisted through dead ends and false leads, each step requiring careful analysis. Yet fragments of the employer's identity started emerging, revealing patterns in timing, locations, and interactions. The shadowy figure's careful orchestration became clearer, a chilling testament to premeditation. For the family, the partial understanding was terrifying, highlighting how close danger had been at every turn. The evidence pointed to a disturbing truth. This was not an isolated incident. Other job seekers had vanished under eerily similar circumstances. The pattern suggested a predator who exploited ambition and trust, creating elaborate illusions to entrap victims. As investigators cross-referenced names and addresses, a network of manipulation emerged, each connection revealing the sinister scale of the deception. The realization drove the urgency. The shadowy employer had to be found before anyone else fell prey. The breakthrough arrived when a pattern of financial transactions and digital interactions led to a potential location. The trail was faint, but tangible, a glimmer of hope amid the overwhelming complexity. Investigators prepared to follow it, balancing caution with urgency, knowing that every moment counted. The family held their collective breath, emotions a mix of hope and fear, understanding that the next steps could bring the first true answers or deeper despair. Investigators traced the faint trail through quiet neighborhoods and overlooked alleyways, each step revealing hints of the shadowy employer's presence. The meticulousness of his planning was evident, yet small cracks in the facade offered hope. The family followed updates obsessively, hanging onto every lead as if it were a lifeline. The pursuit was tense and deliberate, a careful dance between revelation and caution, knowing that one misstep could erase the trail entirely. Clues led them to an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts, its facade unassuming yet ominous. Signs of recent activity hinted at a temporary occupation, confirming the employer had been here. Investigators approached carefully, aware that the predator might be watching. Each step was measured, every sound amplified by the oppressive silence. The building, once ordinary, had transformed into a sinister marker of human deceit. Inside the warehouse, scattered papers, empty desks, and faint digital traces spoke of fleeting occupation. The sense of violation was palpable. The space had been a staging ground for manipulation. Investigators documented every clue meticulously, piecing together the narrative left behind. Each finding reinforced the reality that the employer was methodical, predatory, and frighteningly organized. The trail of deceit was tangible now, a puzzle demanding to be solved. Digital forensics within the warehouse revealed encrypted files, partial records, and communications pointing to previous victims. The methodical nature of the crimes emerged vividly, showcasing a predator who had perfected the art of invisibility. Investigators recognized patterns, timelines, and locations, beginning to anticipate the shadowy employer's next moves. Every new piece of information intensified the hunt, setting the stage for confrontation. A breakthrough came when cross-referencing all available data revealed a hidden network of accounts, addresses, and aliases. The shadowy employer's footprint, though well concealed, was becoming undeniable. The family's hope surged cautiously as investigators prepared the next move. The anticipation was electric, knowing that the next step could finally bring the predator into reach or dissolve the trail once more. Every decision from here on carried immense weight. The investigation reached a critical point when the shadowy employer's location was identified. Investigators approached with measured caution, aware that confrontation could trigger flight or escalation. The building loomed, unassuming yet charged with menace. Inside, the predator's meticulous planning was evident in the organized chaos of files, devices, and hidden compartments. The moment was tense, a collision of patience, skill, and human resolve, each second carrying the weight of potential discovery or danger. Inside the building, investigators moved quietly, scanning every corner. Digital devices hummed faintly, and scattered papers hinted at the employer's careful record-keeping. Each discovery confirmed the premeditated nature of his crimes. The shadowy figure remained unseen, a ghost navigating his own web of deception. The weight of the investigation pressed on the team. Anticipation and caution intertwined as the moment of confrontation approached. Finally, the shadowy employer emerged, calm and composed, masking any hint of guilt. His demeanor was chillingly ordinary. A man in his early 40s who had orchestrated chaos with calculated precision. Investigators confronted him with evidence, each fact unraveling the layers of his deception. The predator's composure never wavered, and the psychological tension was palpable. This was the moment when manipulation and truth collided, and the stakes could not have been higher. The confrontation escalated as investigators pressed for details about the victims and methods. The shadowy employer revealed little, his words calculated and evasive. The room was charged with unspoken threats, the atmosphere heavy with tension. Each revelation was a step closer to understanding the predator's psychology and the extent of his crimes. The family watched, caught between hope for resolution and fear for the unknown outcomes. Ultimately, the shadowy employer was detained, the evidence irrefutable. Relief washed over the investigators, though the emotional toll lingered. The family exhaled collectively, their loved one's disappearance finally understood within the context of a larger, terrifying plan. Justice had a face now, yet the shadows of fear, manipulation, and lost time remained. The confrontation concluded, leaving a mixture of triumph, sorrow, and reflection in its wake. With the shadowy employer in custody, the family grappled with relief and lingering fear. They revisited every memory, every interaction, trying to reconcile the person they knew with the unseen predator who had orchestrated such a meticulous deception. Investigators debriefed, piecing together the full scope of his operations, each revelation a mix of closure and horror. The journey to understanding was painful, yet necessary, illuminating the human cost of manipulation and trust betrayed. News outlets covered the case extensively, and public awareness of the dangers of fraudulent opportunities grew. The story became a cautionary tale, inspiring conversations about vigilance and online deception. For the family, the media coverage was bittersweet, offering reassurance that the predator would be held accountable, yet reopening the wounds of loss and anxiety that had shadowed them for months. In the aftermath, the family sought to heal, leaning on one another and their community for support. Therapy sessions, conversations with friends, and quiet moments of reflection became integral to rebuilding trust and reclaiming a sense of safety. The emotional journey was far from over, but the clarity brought by the investigation offered a foundation for recovery and resilience. Investigators continued to follow leads on previous victims and the shadowy employer's network, ensuring that justice extended beyond the immediate case. Their work highlighted the systematic nature of the deception and the importance of vigilance. The family took comfort in knowing that the predator's reach had been curtailed, yet the lessons of caution and awareness would remain with them indefinitely. Time passed, and life gradually resumed its rhythms. The family found solace in small victories, daily routines, and the enduring strength of their bond. The story of the vanished job seeker became a part of their narrative, a haunting memory, but also a testament to resilience, awareness, and the relentless pursuit of truth. Though shadows lingered, they had reclaimed a measure of peace and the hard-won clarity that comes from facing the unknown.